am thrilled to be joined by an artist that I have been in love with since she uploaded her first tune, the wonderful Lois. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
So sorry it's taken us so long to catch up. I'm here. I'm happy. I'm thrilled to be with you. It's been a while, but you have something big coming, don't you? Big project.
Yes, I do. I've got my debut EP out in May on the 26th. I'm so excited to release it. I feel like it's such an important project for me. It's been coming such a long time and I feel like it's going to be such a release for me to finally have it out, and I'm just so excited for people to hear it.
I mean, obviously, you've been building profile with the last three tunes that I think we've had one by one. Have you been finding your way in the music industry all right? Finding like-minded people to work with, finding inspiration?
Yeah, I think Leeds has definitely completely changed my outlook on the music industry and just being a creative person. I've come from a very small town called Lancaster, and there was like bits and bobs of, creative stuff, but I feel like coming to Leeds has just completely changed my outlook on all of that, and I just feel so much more comfortable to like express myself however I want to do that and just be more, I don't know, not be as like confined to what I think music should be, but like try things out. And the music here is so good that every time I listen to like a new release of somebody that I know, like in the scene, it just like makes me go, okay, I want to do that now, or I want to do that now, I want to do this now. But yeah, I love it here.
That's the thing that gets me, like you just talking about the scene. Like, obviously, I spend a lot of time in Manchester and Leeds,
Mhm.
but like Leeds is just that little bit smaller. It does feel like the community, the music community is that little bit more cohesive in terms of
Mm.
artists helping each other out or supporting each other. What kind of help and support have you had?
Well, definitely. I actually saw an artist the other day, Kinderlan, outside of a coffee shop, and I'd not actually spoken to her in person, but I'd been listening to her music for ages. And I saw her, and I kind of just like gave her like a half smile, thinking, "Oh, she's not really like gonna know who I am." And she stopped and came over. She was with her mum, and she was like, "Lois, like, well done on Strange Men. It's incredible. Like, I love it." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "What?" So I was like, "She listens to my music, like." That's crazy because I'm so obsessed with her stuff. But yeah, I don't know what it is about Leeds. Everybody's just so nice and supportive of each other. Like I've been to so many gigs where you kind of see the same crowd all going to different gigs, and like it's not just one kind of music, like everybody's supporting everybody. And I think that's what I love the most about here, really. But yeah.
So you're studying at Leeds Conservatoire at the moment as well. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's not the only way to get on in the music industry, but it's a good way to make meet like-minded people, haven't, isn't it? Have you found it
Yeah.
very helpful in, the development of your music or finding those like-minded people?
Oh yeah, definitely. I found my band at uni. So yeah, it's been very important to me. They started off as like my three friends. Well, two of them were like my really close friends, my drummer and my guitarist. And then my bassist Ben, he was just someone I saw in class, and I messaged them all and I was like, "Hey guys, just wondering if you maybe want to be in my band." And then we had a few rehearsals, and that was it. And we're honestly just like the closest four ever. I would do anything for them. They've literally, I feel like a lot of solo artists kind of, you just see them as their selves, which I am a solo artist, but to have a band that just like listen to you and like can help you like realize your music is so important, and they definitely have done that. Yeah, I'm very fond of them.
Make it a bit different when you're out on the road. Is it the full band setup when you're playing live at the moment?
Yeah, well, I did have seven of us. There was a keys player, and two backing vocalists, but the actual practicality of transporting that many people with that much gear just wasn't feasible. So we went down to four. And we did like Great Escape last year, did a few smaller festivals as the four of us, and honestly, it was just such a laugh. Like we haven't got sick of each other yet. I mean, we've only done one summer together, so we'll see how it goes this year. But we just have a laugh. It's just great. It's so fun.
I think the first tune we had from you was The Way You Are back in February
Yeah.
2022. And I think we played it like really quickly. I remember us being like, wow, who is this artist? We need to find
Yes.
more.
I remember that. I think I got a message from, it might have been you, or I got an email that it was getting played. I was like, what the hell? Literally, I think it might have even been played before I released it as like a preview thing. But I doesn't matter, I feel like, what stage you are at in your career. If you get played on the radio, I feel like that's really cool. I
Is it,
love it.
as an artist creating, does it make you feel like, yeah, I'm doing the right things then, getting airplay like that just makes, does it make you feel like, I know imposter syndrome is a real thing,
Mm,
especially for women in the
yeah.
industry. Does it make you feel like, yeah, I am on the right lines, I'm creating good stuff, it's getting people's a reaction from people?
It just feels like people are hearing what I want them to hear. Like, all I want to do with my music is get it out there. I just want people to hear it, and I just want to connect with people. I'm very much a people person, and I feel like when my music goes on the radio, I'm like, oh my God, like, people are actually going to hear what I'm saying. Finally, not just my mum and dad.
I remember reading the biog that said, yeah, you're playing The Great Escape and you're releasing with Fear Records and you've got your first EP coming later this year. And I'm like, whoa, it's been quite the wait. But you were obviously working with Fear Records really early on. How did you meet
Yeah.
them?
So this is actually a really interesting story. It started in lockdown. Fear had a different band signed to them, which I knew. I knew the bassist from high school, and the guitarist, sorry, from high school, and they had a live stream gig going on, because obviously, you couldn't do live, and which was horrendous. But their support dropped out, and I was going on a walk down the canal near my house, and I saw him, and he was like, "Oh, Lois, he's still doing music?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." He's like, "Would do you want to come and support us for this live stream gig?" So I was like, "Yes, please. I've done no music in far too long." So I went and supported them for their live stream gig, and Darren, who started Fear Records, was there and heard me. And as soon as I came off the stage, he was like, "I want you to do some recording. Would you like to do some recording for us?" And I was obviously jumped at the opportunity. And I started working with Bob McKenzie in Liverpool, did that, and then yeah, really just released the first tune at the end of, oh gosh, was it February? So I'd started recording in the end of summer and then released it in the February. And then yeah, I've been testing the water a bit with kind of what direction I wanted to go in with my music. I guess that's why it's taken so long to finally get the EP out, but I'm so confident with it now, and I think it's exactly what I need to release right now. So yeah.
Right, we'll come and talk about that in a sec. But I know that you also got to go to Real World Studios as well, didn't you? How was that? In a
Do you know
wealth of
what?
knowledge, information, people that have like legacy of artists that have recorded their and instrumentation must have been insane.
I kept pinching myself. I was like, what the hell am I doing here? But I did do a lot of bribing. I kept saying to our label manager James, I was like, I think for this next song, I just need to be in Real World. I've just got to be there, because I know Bob, who got a job there, from With the Way You Are. He's who I co-wrote that with, and he just got a job there. And I was like, oh, James, I think I just need to see Bob. Like, I need to get back with him right again. And eventually he was like, right, okay, we'll send you down there. And there's no place like it. I can't even describe it. There's like a pond. You look out of the main window in the recording room. There's this giant pond. There's waterfalls. It's just the most spiritual, beautiful place. We're in the middle of summer as well. Honestly, yeah, it was incredible. That's where we wrote the third single that will be coming out this year. Yeah, very excited for you to hear that one.
Is that your new one on the uploader, or is that one that we've still got to hear? Because obviously we've heard Strange Men now.
You have. This will be the third one. So no, it won't be on the uploader just yet.
Okay. So let's get to Strange Men. What can you tell us about that? Because ultimately, you've just rolled off the back of like supporting the lottery winners at a huge show at Albert Hall, haven't you? Like 1,500 people in a room watching you
Yeah,
support them. So it must be time now for this EP, definitely.
yeah. That was again another pinch me moment. Yeah, this Strange Men is a song I've actually had for years. and it originally was 7 minutes long, and it was almost like a diary entry. And I took it to the studio, and they were like, "Lois, you can't play a 7 minute song on the radio." I was like, "Queen did it, Queen did it." But yeah, no, this is a very personal song. It's quite different to the other two, um, and to be honest, I was a bit nervous to release it. I was very unsure for a while, but I kind of came to a point in my life, and I was like, no, this is important, and I need to say this, and I need to do this for the younger version of myself that would have really needed that song. Um, so yeah, it's kind of all about getting to an age where your perception of the world starts to change. You kind of go from being a kid to being a grown up or a woman. And I found it particularly difficult realizing the difference between how women are treated and how men are treated. Um, Especially as a teenager, as a teenage girl, and kind of technically still being a child. And yeah, this song is all about people in positions of power, specifically men, taking advantage of girls and women. And I guess this song is all about kind of giving the power back to the people that it was stolen from. So, yeah.
And I spotted that you have been working with a very an exclusive production songwriting duo in Manchester, a duo called Soap. What can you tell us about working with Soap and who they are and how it's worked for you?
Soap is great. Soap is made up of Josh Noble from Larkins and Carl Ziegler. They're like a writing, producing duo that work with a lot of up and coming artists. I did my first session with Josh last year, and he and Carl helped me co-write this EP. And yeah, they've just brought to life they've brought my music to life, particularly Strange Men, and kind of put it in a different direction that I would usually go, like a lot heavier, but I think it's exactly what the song needed, and it now it hits me a lot more than it did, I think, when it was just me on piano. But yeah, they're great.
So, can you tell us anything about the EP? Obviously, a few more tracks on there, but what's the title? Are you allowed to tell us that yet?
I think I can tell you the title. I'll give you a world exclusive, Shell. So the EP is going to be called Strange Men. It's the Strange Men EP. And yeah, it's all kind of the whole EP is basically me from the age of 16 to 22, and the kind of breaking downs of my identity and rebuilding it back up, and trauma and pain and love and healing and all of that into kind of one body of work. Um, and yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but on the single cover for Strange Men, I've got an elephant in my back pocket. Um, so that's gonna be actually, I don't know if I can tell you that. Okay, well, the elephant in the back pocket is to represent like attachment to childhood and things like that. But also with like the vulnerability of like my exposed back on the single cover. So yeah, I like having little Easter eggs, and maybe you'll get a few more Easter eggs with the EP.
It was quite the striking photo. I have to admit, I was using it as some imagery for the
Yeah.
show because I was like, this is really interesting vision. Were you working with anyone in particular on it?
I went down to London. It was a team entirely of women, which I loved. I really wanted. I definitely pushed that for the creative. Um, but we had a stylist called Maria, and she had all these like crazy clothes that she just sourced from random vintage places. And I saw the shirt, and I brought my elephant Nelly with me because she's my childhood teddy. I talk about she's real. She's my childhood teddy, and I just bring her everywhere still. Maybe I need to grow out of that, I don't know. But she was just in my bag, and I thought, you know what, this whole EP is about kind of the transition between being a child and an adult. It would be really cool to incorporate her in the single artwork. And it was just an idea. And then when I got the photo back, I was like, oh my God, this is the EP in a photo, like being clothed on the front, exposed at my back, turning away, the elephant in my pocket. It was just kind of it just made so much sense to me for that to be the single cover. And yeah, it's quite a striking photo. I'm glad it is. I've been posting it all over Leeds. I've got posters. I've been tagging everywhere.
Okay, so EP's coming out in May, and also you've got a big headline show to celebrate in Leeds, haven't you? What can you tell
Yeah.
us?
Well, I've got a International Women's Day show coming up on the 9th of March at Hedera House, and I'm headlining that. So that should be really exciting. And then I do have a headline coming up, but I can't tell you exactly when it's going to be. But I do have a big show coming up, and I'm really excited for that. Yeah.
What is the best way to keep track of where you are and when we can see you?
Keep track of me on my mailing list. You can sign up to that by going on any of my socials, and I've got it in my bio or my Instagram, TikTok, all the socials. But my mailing list is where you get all the exclusive stuff and a bit more kind of info about me and kind of what I'm up to day to day.
Lois, you are an absolute legend. We can't wait for the EP. Thank you so much for sharing the new single with us. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you at the festivals, right? Because you're going to be everywhere. I'm convinced of it.
Yes, I'm determined. I'm manifesting. I've got my crystals. Thank you, Shell.
Love it so much.